No. Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about losing weight in 2024. You got about 4 months left, and now is the time to get focused. Summer is coming to an end, and this next chunk of time is one of the sweetest times of the entire year to start losing weight. First of all, you've got an entire history of your life where the first 20 years of your life, or minus the first 4 or 5 years, every September you go back to school. And so deep within you, most likely, you've got getting focused, taking action, learning, doing new things embedded into this time of year. It's in your DNA. It's in your cells at this point. So getting focused right now for the next 4 months so that you can start 2025 with some momentum, considerably lighter, new habits in place, new lifestyle in place, new mindset in place. Now's the time to do it, because as opposed to January 1st, which is, again, a lot of people think is the best time, it's not, because usually January 1st, you're starting with a month and a half of holiday eating and mode behind you. And so you're so depleted, it's difficult to really thrive January 1st, as opposed to right around September 1st, you're not as depleted. Yes, you may have taken a step back in a sense in terms of the summer mode, but it's not like the holiday mode. And so for a lot of people, that, in addition to the school conditioning that you've had your whole life, it really puts you in a great spot to focus now and to get yourself back on track. And the way you do this most effectively is to imagine in your mind how it would be on December 31st, right as it's approaching midnight, how it would feel to be 20, 30, 40 pounds lighter going into the new year. Imagine if the new year, new me was a description of who you were at that moment, as opposed to some hope and vague desire for something you wish you'd achieve in the coming year. This could change everything. And if you can get yourself motivated right now to the level you will on January 1st, you're going to be in a much better spot, because again, you're in a much better spot to take those actions that are going to get the results you want. And if you could step into 2025 being 20, 30, 40 pounds lighter, how do you believe your year would go? How would it feel to step into a new year already with success, already with some momentum? And so it starts now, though, and start thinking about it. And the more you focus on this, the more excited you get, the more likely you are to take the action to get the results you want. And so I hope that for you. So take a little bit of time this weekend, or if you get a couple days now, and get yourself focused, motivated, and then take some action and commit to it and make it happen. If you're not sure what to do, you can go to programyourselfthin.com, go get the free hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you, and it'll kind of kickstart you to get those results moving into the new year. So I wish you the best with this. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Did you ever look into that Never Binge book again? No, not yet. But I will. Yeah, I can't wait. Someone was telling me about it as well. Someone, I don't know, I forget, someone emailed me about it. That was kind of strange, but yeah, so that's on my list here. So I will be checking that out, but not yet. I've not looked at it yet. What's up, Julie? How's it going? Julie's from Massachusetts. Claudia, how's it going? Hey, Paul, how's it going? Hey, Jim is here. Yes, back from the dreaded dropping the daughter off at college day. Back to normal, somewhat normal, not completely normal. But you got to get back in the saddle, right? So here we are. So hope everyone's having a nice day. I know it's a kind of interesting one. And it's funny. I tell you this all the time, but I have a unique view of the weight loss psychology and the culture. And because again, I do a podcast every day, videos, and sell programs. So I get a sense for when there's a cultural excitement to lose weight and when there's a cultural kind of putting out of our minds. And the week before, like September 1st, is one of those times for a lot of people where they kind of just zone out with it, So you may be feeling that now, you may be going into the 3-day week. Oh, last thing in the world I want to think about is my weight and my health and stuff like that, which I get. But no rest for the wicked. This is what you do for work. You do it every day. So I'm here for you crazy people that are still thinking about your weight and your health on a Friday before Labor Day. Because, the reason I do this every day, pretty much, regardless of that, is that to me, what I like to kind of convey to you all and to let you see firsthand is that it's the all or something mentality, right? But it's the something piece of it, So even if and my eating's been off the charts, not good. Okay. It's just not my normal thing. But I'm okay with it, but I'm still in the game. And so even when I get here and talk on a Friday before a 3-day weekend, um, the fact you might be listening to me, you're still in the game, And so it doesn't mean your eating's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to be 100% on track. That's never going to happen. But you can always at least be somewhat in the game. And sometimes just being in the game is just watching a food video, reading a book, listening to me talk about weight and health and all this stuff. So it's it's starting to realize there's gradients to all this, as opposed to thinking of it black or white binarily. And that goes to even, what we're talking about here. And again, what I was just talking about is the idea of getting excited for the new year. I think now I think people waste their New Year's resolutions, and I'm not against New Year's resolutions. But I like to think of it is you can do that more often than once a year. I think that's the secret. I've even in the club program, we have new month's resolutions, so the New Year's resolutions isn't the problem. The problem is that you do it once a year, I think. And so it's too big, overwhelming. It's just a shot in the dark. It's a hope. It's a wish. There's no real plan behind it. But as you get more consistent, if every month you set a new month resolution for yourself, how could you not improve over a year of doing that? And so here's your chance, regardless of where you're at in 2024 with your weight loss and health, how can you get the most out of the next 4 months? And a lot of success is learning to frame different moments in time differently. So everyone knows the January 1st excitement, right? The new year, new me. Now listen, it's all bullshit, right? I mean, really, in technicality, there's nothing different between December 31st and January 1st. Not really. But in our minds, there is, right? In our minds, it feels new. Now it's a new year. What's that mean? Not really anything technically, but in our minds, it means something, which is to say that we made up that meaning. It's not a real meaning. There's no difference between December 31st and January 1st, but it feels like there is. And so once we recognize that, we take control of that. We say we can make it to whatever meaning we want. We can make every month, again, new month's resolution. And certainly we can chunk it up as well. We can say, okay, I'll set a 4-month goal for myself, because that year thing is, even though it's not real, it's real because we've made it real. And so it does impact us and there is an effect of it. But that's what I was saying about September 1st, that at least if you live in America anyways, or the Northern Hemisphere, then you most likely September 1st is probably the kickoff to the school year. And so that's got a lot of meaning to you. And so that's one of the big reasons I find, at least in America and Canada, that September 1st is really a great opportunity, really second to probably January 1st, for getting refocused, remotivated, to clarify your goal and set a 4-month goal for yourself, so that you're not going, God, whatever you do, don't do the same patterns you always do. And I bet if you look back at over years, you'll recognize that you kind of zone out. You start the year all fired up and motivated, and then you get less and less as the year goes on. And then you just repeat it again. And so again, we can't keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. We have to change up what we're doing. And one of the best ways you can do that is to set, again, a new fresh goal for yourself today, this weekend. Reflect on it and imagine how you'd like to approach January 1st, how you like to approach the new year, as opposed to just letting it show up and happen and then, expect that you're going to just magically change. Blue Run Vintage, conscious brain keeps telling me I can't do this. I know I can't erase the old tapes, but I get so tired of hearing them over and over. Anything in the hypnosis library you'd recommend for me? Well, certainly, like everything in the hypnosis library is going to support you, but the big thing is to realize this is the whole game. We all have a voice in our head, and it's most likely, if you've been struggling with your weight, that voice is very negative, and it's telling you, you can't do this. You can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. This is gonna be a lesson I'll be doing next week, talking about the overweight fat voice in your head. Because one of the ironies of life, I just realized this yesterday when I was driving around, is that a lot of times that voice in your head saying, you can't do this. I can't do this. You're not gonna be able to do this. You're not gonna be able to do this. We think of that voice as our thin voice, our ideal voice. trying to force us to do the right stuff. But in reality, that voice is the fat voice. That voice, you need to think of it as an overweight. When you personify that voice as an overweight person. And it will change the way you react to it a little bit. Okay? Because I promise you, you are internalizing that voice as the thin you. And you think that thin voice of you being so mean to you is the one that's going to make you thin. When in reality, that is literally the voice that's going to keep you overweight. And so dealing with the negative voices in our head is literally the whole core of Program Yourself Thin. But the way you need to deal with that voice, the hypnosis is there to support it, but it's not going to fix that. What you need to do to fix that is you need to create a new voice, a thin and healthy voice. And I will just ask you, what does your thin voice say when it hears that voice? That voice is never going to go away. That overweight voice is never going away. It's going to tell you can't do it for the rest of your life. You will get to your goal weight and that voice will still say you can't do it. You're not going to be able to keep it up. It never goes away. It's a neural network that's not going away. You cannot get rid of neural wiring. You cannot get rid of it. You can't reach into your brain and pull the neural wiring out and it doesn't go away. It may atrophy a little bit if you stop using it. But you're not going to stop using it. It's not going to go away. So what's the only alternative we have? It is to create a new voice that gets triggered every time this voice kicks in. So you're never, I can't stress this enough, folks. Believe me or don't, I don't care because I have I literally, without exception, have never seen anyone get rid of their negative voice. It's literally impossible if you know anything at all about neuroscience. And I know very little about neuroscience, but I do know that. And so, the only alternative is to create a more encouraging, supportive voice. And the hypnosis is there to support that, but it's ultimately you. So Blue Run, you need to hear that voice. And now again, you won't hear the voice. You'll feel the effect of it. You'll feel discouraged. You'll feel frustrated. You'll feel like a failure. You'll feel something. And that's where you want to start with, because you can't just track every thought in your head. They go too quick. We have to pay attention to how we feel. And as soon as you feel discouraged, frustrated, like a failure, whatever the feeling is that you can't do it, whatever feeling that creates in you, start looking for that feeling. And when it shows up, ask yourself, what am I thinking to create that feeling? Because we create our feelings by what we say to ourselves. And so you're saying you can't do this, and then it makes you feel a certain way. And so what we want to do is we want to realize, okay, that's one voice in my head. We're always our own best or worst hypnotist. So again, in Program Yourself Thin, you're learning how to run the voices in your head. You're learning how to program your own subconscious mind. You're learning this. The hypnosis is there to support you, but it's you taking a step back and saying, oh, I'm saying to myself, I can't do this. And then what I like to do is I like to bring my coach voice out. Now, again, a lot of people in Program Yourself Thin use me as kind of the surrogate for the coach voice. And if someone goes to me and they say, I don't think I can do this, what I'm doing is I'm diving deeper into that. Can't do what? Can't lose weight. Why wouldn't you be able to lose weight? If you reduced your calories, you would absolutely lose weight. Well, okay, it's not that I can't lose weight. It's that I can't eat well for a while. Why can't you eat well for a while? Because I've never been able to do it. Why haven't you ever been able to do it? Because I don't know. I just get sick of it. And I just feel overwhelmed and deprived and I can't keep it up. Okay, well, what if you did it differently this time? You didn't do it so extreme. You didn't deprive yourself. Well, then I'm impatient. Okay, well, what if you have more patience? So again, I'm not saying like anything I said is like a knockout blow. I'm saying it's a process you have to internalize. So when you say I can't do it, you don't just accept it, because that's what I'm hearing, right? Notice what, even in that question, Blue Run, conscious brain keeps telling me I can't do this. By the way, that's not your conscious brain, just so we know that. That's your subconscious brain. It's that critical voice in your head that just runs on autopilot, okay? And it just says things and you react to them. So if someone came up to you and said, you can't do this, you can't lose weight, would you accept that or would you push back on it? Now, again, either answer is fine, because whichever one's true. But the point being, I hope you'd push back on it. If you're in this program, if you really want to change your weight, we can't accept the idea that I can't do this, because that's bullshit. What can't you do? First of all, again, getting more specific is amazing process and strategy to use when you start saying real vague ass things like, I can't do this. Can't do what? Get specific. And then you just keep drilling down. Blue Run, you were so nice to send me this book here. And again, I'll just Y'all look this up on Amazon. Pretty cool. I'm going to start this officially next week. But you were so nice to me. Shoot me an email and I will give you a week access to the coaching calls. Let me talk to you. Okay. And what's going on here? Getting weird. I don't know if I'm freezing up or getting knocked off here. So Blue Run, shoot me an email and I will get you on a coaching call and I will help you. We'll work right through this. I promise you. All right. What's up, Linda? Missed your live yesterday. Yep. I'm glad I'm back too. What's up, Mario? How's it going? Mario said, my dad was literally so excited to drop me off to college. I love how different your reaction is. I was thinking that yesterday. I was like, I wish I had a shitty relationship with my kids and I just get the hell out of here, please. It wasn't as bad. It was what it was. You know, anyone that's dropped a kid off, it is what it is. It's so funny though, Mario. I guess there's all sorts of people, right? It's funny. There we go. This is some of the questions. There they are. TikTok starting off slow this morning. What's up, Athena? How's it going? Linda says, best strategies for dealing with emotional eating, especially at night. Yeah, okay. So Linda, the best strategy of all is a meta strategy, meaning it's not the actual strategy, it's the strategy that gets us to the strategy. And so Linda, for you, the most important strategy is using the redo rehearsal technique. Okay. Because the way you're going to uncover the best strategy is by learning from the mistakes you make. So when you eat at night, redoing that and learning from it. That's the number one meta strategy that's going to get you the strategy you use to not eat at night anymore. All right. Same ones I did. That was my biggest struggle initially, was the eating at night. So that being said, that's the thing. If you stick with the redo technique and then the rehearsal technique, so you do the redo technique, you eat tonight. You didn't want to eat tonight, you eat tonight. You redo it in your mind, learn something about it, make a distinction, replay it the way you want to, and then you rehearse using that distinction and strategy tomorrow night. Imagine yourself using the same thing, and on and on and on. Okay. And each time you do that, you keep refining and tweaking the strategy until you figure out the one that works for you. So it's the meta strategy that really matters to get to the core strategy. And it took me a long time to get through my nighttime eating one. Okay. But it's such an important one to focus on because it's probably one of the main reasons why you're struggling with the weight. So it's worth the investment of time and effort and energy. I feel like my phone is, I don't know, TikTok. It's showing like hardly anyone on here, but it keeps saying that it keeps disconnecting and losing connections. So I don't know. So yeah, Linda, that's kind of the big strategy. Okay. But then subtle strategies under it that I have found, I'll share them with you. I don't like to do this because I want you to figure out what works for you, but I will give you some best case strategies. The first one is initially, I never even had a night where I didn't eat at night. So the first goal is just get through a night where I don't eat. Okay. And the way I did that is I ate more at dinner, take the pressure off. No, I wasn't going to lose weight that way, but it was a first phase just to see what it's like to go through the night without eating. What do you do, Jim? You know? So that was the first thing. If you have nights, sometimes I eat, sometimes I don't. Okay, it's a little different. Now it's like, okay, on the nights when I don't eat, what's going on? The nights I do eat, what's happening there? This is why the redo technique is so important, because what's going on? Are you too hungry? Are you too emotional? Are you just tired? Is it just a habit you've always had? I don't know why you're eating at night, and you probably don't either. And so if you don't really understand why you're eating at night, how are you going to fix it? Just willpower? And I know you're in the program, so I know you think beyond that, but I'm saying I need more granular understanding of why you're eating at night. You know, how much of it's hunger, how much of it's emotions, how much of it's just habit. And for me, a lot of it was habit. That was the big one. There's also kind of an emotional piece for sure too, low key, but a lot of it was habit. And so yeah, so it's kind of breaking it down to this thing. So what are some things that helped me? I ate a little more dinner and then I stopped eating. I used alternatives for a little while. So I replaced the really unhealthy stuff with slightly healthier options. And I kept that process up for a while. I had some nights where I just kind of like ate more at dinner and got through a night where I didn't eat. And that felt better because I started to learn from that. And so it just so depends on what your situation is though. Now I know if I'm not mistaken, you're a teacher. And so you've just started teaching again. If that's the case, you might notice I've worked with a number of teachers over the years and, oh, hey, during the summer, my eating's great. And then school starts and it's bad. Okay. Do you think that may have anything to do, with your emotions and you're using the eating at night to kind of, unwind from the day or decompress? So again, it really depends on you. So if you play with the redo rehearsal technique and you can start to understand more deeper reasons for why you may be doing this, I'll be able to give you much clearer, probably more beneficial ideas moving forward. So hope that helps. Athena says, oh my God, literally I have the same voice in my head all the time. Yeah, all of you, if you're overweight and you want to lose weight and you've been trying and you haven't been able to do it, I guarantee you you've got this extremely critical voice in your head. And it's the overweight hypnotist in your head. And again, you think of it as the slim, thin, not even necessarily version of you, but you think of it, you think that critical, shitty voice in your head, you think of it as a slim, perfect person. It's not. It's not. It's an overweight person who has no strategies or real ideas of what to do. And it throws you off the case by just throwing bombs into you emotionally and triggering you emotionally. This is, I think personally, I think this is the most important piece of transformation, is getting a handle on your internal dialogue. You're literally hypnotizing yourself day in and day out to get the results that you're getting, and you do not realize it. And the way you're doing it primarily is that negative voice in your head is absolutely sabotaging you. And you have no alternative to it. You have no encouraging, supportive voice in your mind. No, I mean, you have like it's fleeting, you know, but the core voice in your mind is the very, very critical negative one. And you need to create a more supportive, encouraging, coaching voice, you know? So Athena says, I feel weak. Yeah, of course you feel weak because, again, you've got this voice constantly berating you, putting you down, making you feel bad, pointing out your mistakes, pointing out failures from the past. You define them as failures. It's always putting you down. And I know you all can relate to this because it's literally every client I've ever worked with, without exception, myself included. And again, you think the answer is to get rid of this voice. You do not realize you can never get rid of this voice. It's never going away. I know you don't like to hear that, but again, I'm not here to bullshit you. It's not going away. It's never going to go away. You could lose all the weight and it's not going away. Why do you think people lose all their weight, get to their goal weight, and put all the weight back on? I will tell you one of the biggest reasons why is because that shitty critical voice in your head never goes away. You could get to your goal weight and live there for 10 years. That critical voice will still be there. Depressing? I don't know. And tell you fantasy stories what you want to hear. It's just true. So you need to learn how to manage the voices in your mind. And without doing that, it's a forever struggle that, chances of success are very, very low. What's up, Joy? How's it going? Good afternoon to you. Yep. Gail says it's both for me, habit and emotions. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you, this is wheezing over here. What's going on? If it's habits and emotions, again, we want to figure out which emotions and what's the habit. When does it start? What's the trigger, time, place? Gail, I think you're in the program, right? So it's like what I would suggest for you, Gail, and this is what I'm talking about. So if you're in the program and you're like, okay, for me, it's both, it's habit and emotions. So what I'm going to do is I suggest go to the bonus section of the membership site, go down to the mindset mastery. And then there's 6 trainings. The third one is habits. And the fourth one is emotions. So I would absolutely watch both of those. And I think you'll come out of those with much more understanding about your habits and your emotions than you currently do. And once you have that new enhanced awareness, I think you're going to find it moves you forward in a pretty powerful way. Thank you, Don. Athena says, also, I realized a lot of my calories are from my hummus that I eat with veggies, but I eat so much of it, I thought it was supposed to be healthy. Yeah, I mean, again, Athena, Athena, listen to me. You've got to make a distinction between healthy and too many calories. Do you understand? Like something can be healthy, but if you eat, 5,000 calories a day, you're probably gonna put weight on. You know what I mean? You've got to make that distinction. And talk about hypnosis. You're putting yourself into a unawares trance every time you talk about this healthy thing. I'm a little surprised because we've been talking about this for weeks or months now. And so, yeah, hummus is healthy. It's chickpeas and some oil and tahini. So yeah, it's very healthy. But again, if you eat a tub of it every night, well, that again, it becomes less healthy, and it becomes a problem. So, you've got to start. I mean, I don't know why I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I keep feeling like you keep circling through. So I got to be a little sharper here because I feel like you keep cycling through. Well, I eat healthy. I thought it was healthy. It was healthy. Yeah. I mean, you can gain weight eating healthy. Is it harder? Yeah. It's harder to eat healthy and gain weight than it is to eat processed food and gain weight for most people. Okay. But yeah, hummus is healthy. So don't say, I thought it was supposed to be healthy. It is healthy. You're just eating way too much of it. So I don't know why that's a confusing thing, Athena. Katie says, that's what the Never Binge book talks about. The fat version of you, that voice is too loud. Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. I can't wait to read that book. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, that was I don't know, the profound idea I thought yesterday. I'm not saying I'm the first one to have it, but it just really hit me that I talk about this critical voice all the time with people. But I guess what I was realizing is in my mind, I almost visualize it as a thin person in my mind. And I realize that it's not. It's literally the voice that makes you overweight. So if you think of that voice as being an overweight person, I think it's a shift. But I can't wait to read that book because I love reading about that stuff. Jim said, I hate that voice so much. I try to do positive affirmations and tell myself I can do it. Jim, again, you always say the most important things in my mind. That will never work, right? And you say it like it's so crystal clear. When you understand the power of words, when you say I try to do positive affirmations, that's saying I have done it and it has not worked. Again, try implies failure. And the secret is to not hate that voice. I know it sounds strange, but it's kind of like there's what they say in publicity that there's no bad publicity, right? This voice in your head, it's not trying to win an argument with you. It's not trying to rationally convince you of something. It's just very emotional and it says things that trigger you. And whether you try and ignore it, you hate it, I wish you'd shut up, the more energy you give it, the more it loves it. So hating that voice does not work at all. Trying to say positive things doesn't work because your mind, you don't believe it. It's bullshit. And you know it's bullshit. So what do? Again, this becomes program yourself thin. When you have a coach voice in your head, it's a whole different thing. I will beat your shitty coach. I will beat that shitty voice in your head all day long. This is what I do for a living. I did it with myself first, and now I do it with other people all day long. I'm going against that shitty voice in their head. And so it's not, see, and this, Jim is just saying exactly what most people try to do. Is affirmations. Is there any more bigger crock of shit than that? Because the whole time you're like, whatever you're saying, what do you say? Oh, I'm thin. Right? You're overweight. And, oh, I'm thin. Huh? You know, it's like saying, oh, I'm going to do an affirmation of, I'm an octopus. I'm an octopus. I'm an octopus. I'm looking in a mirror. I'm an octopus. I'm an octopus. I could say it all day long. I don't fucking believe I'm an octopus. I know I'm not. And that's how that's how most people feel with affirmations. If anything, it just reinforces all the negative stuff even more. But what's the difference? Don't hate that voice. Stop hating that voice. Debate that voice. That's the secret. I'm telling you, that's the secret. You guys are trying to ignore that voice, run away from that voice, hate that voice, tell that voice to shut up, and it just loves it. It makes it grow bigger and bigger. It loves it. The secret is to say, okay, what are you saying? You can't do this. You're a weak-willed. You're a sugar addict. You can't do this. Why not? Because you've already tried it. For 30 years, you've been trying it. You failed every time. You're a weak-willed person. You're never going to be able to do it. Is there any possibility it's the way I've tried to do it that's the reason? Maybe I haven't learned how to manage my emotions. Maybe I haven't learned to create a way that really works for me. Yeah, you're happy horse. Oh, you go listen to Jim? Yeah, that's all bullshit. Well, what if I start to make some small changes over time? Yeah, right. That ain't going to work. You'll never stick with it. What if I did stick with it? What if I start making those changes right now? What if I start drinking some more water? I start slow. Next week I work on something else. Yeah, then you'll never get the changes. They'll never last. You just have to say, so if you engage this voice from a calm, rational perspective, developing your coach voice, what happens is you quickly realize this voice, it's kind of like the emperor has no clothes. This voice has nothing behind it. It's just shrieking. It's Chicken Little. The sky's falling. The sky's falling. The sky's falling. But you buy into it. You emotionally respond to it. And you start hating it. You get upset. You get depressed. You get sad. You get pissed off. You get whatever. You get emotionally triggered. And now all of a sudden you can't think clearly. And now you're reacting to that voice. And it's that process you all are doing 24 hours a day in your head. It's why you can't get out of your own way. I've never said more truer, clearer words in my life than just what I just said there. So I don't know if you all believe that or not, but I literally think that is the ground floor of changing your weight for good, is getting a handle on the conversation going on in your head. Because right now, A, you probably have no awareness of the conversation going on in your head. A. B, even if you do, you feel like you have no way to influence. You have no idea how to influence it. And you try dumb shit like affirmations. You've never learned how to deal with the conversation in your head. And what's happened is the culture has put all this shit in your head and trained you to think this way. You have some biological, predispositions to think this way as well. But at the end of the day, you've never learned how to think like a thin, healthy person. And the core of thinking like a thin, healthy person is to influence your internal dialogue so that you're hearing the supportive, encouraging coach voice more. Are any of you hearing the supportive, encouraging coach voice in your head regularly? And I know the answer is no. Why not? Is it because you can't? Or because you've never learned how to? And there you go. Yeah, Jim said, but it's hard to believe it. Yeah, why would you believe it? I wouldn't believe it either because you haven't developed it. So, it's like saying like, I look at my arm and I want to have a big giant muscle and define, and I'm looking at the arm and I say, you're a big giant muscle. You're a big giant muscle. I do this all day long. You're a big giant muscle. You're a big giant muscle. You're a big giant muscle. I do this for 3 months in a row. You're a big giant muscle. And I look and my muscle's the same size. Why the fuck would I believe that? Why would I believe that worked? But that's what a lot of you are doing in your head. You're just saying dumb shit to yourself. It's not changing anything. I don't know. Am I in a mood today? I'm probably a little bit of a mood today. No, it's not UKT. The live is really glitchy and freezing. It keeps giving me an error message. So I knew there was something up. Thank you for saying that. Maybe it's get better. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's going to get better though. I feel like it was keeping like it was like 6 people in here for a little bit, but I think it's getting better now. Not sure. Yeah, glitchy for everyone. Yeah. I have a full signal too. I don't understand. I even looked at like the thing, but I think it's better now. Claude just says, I'm drinking Red Bulls almost every day. I need to hear bad things about Red Bull. But Claudia, you're never going to believe this. You don't need to hear, you don't have to magically wait for shitty things about Red Bull to be heard. You could right now, while you're listening to me, go search negative things about Red Bull. Again, y'all can do that. I say this all the time. Oh, how do I deal with sugar? Go look up what it does to your body. That's a good first step. Yeah, Jim says, I find that eating at night was just so comforting for me. It felt so good. Yeah, same here. It felt so good here too. But is it really comforting though? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Just because something feels comforting doesn't mean it is. And eating at night's one of the best things of that. Jim says, for me, it was just a big habit and a comfort thing. So hard to stop even now. Yeah, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop unless you have eating anything, whatever your fucking habits are, folks. I don't care what it is. Eating at night, eating whenever it's going to be. It's all of it's going to be hard. So the only chance in hell you have of changing your eating long-term is to have something more pleasurable and comforting above the food. So what is that? Well, for me, it's living at my goal weight as the person I want to be. That's more comforting than eating the food at night. So yeah, it's all big habits and it's all comforting. And so I feel hunger at night, but I'm sure I'm not. It's definitely emotional and some loneliness. Yeah. I've tried to go to sleep earlier, but then am up for 2 hours in the middle of the night again. I added more food to my lunch and it helped reach me to dinner. So I like the idea of a bigger dinner. Okay, but Linda, you started off with really all the answers, to be honest. So the hunger piece is a piece of it, but it's almost always emotional. I find that to be usually the biggest, kind of factor here. So when you say, Linda, I feel hungry at night, but I'm not sure, it's definitely emotional and some loneliness. So I want to go, what emotions specifically are you feeling? Loneliness, we know, is at least one of them. And so the eating's really not about that. You could lose all the weight and be the exact weight you want to be, and you're probably going to feel just as lonely. So it's not going to fix that. So the answer is, what do I want to feel? I feel lonely. What do I want to feel? I want to feel connected. Well, I don't know what connected means to you. I don't know if you might be in a romantic relationship, but you still can feel lonely and you want to feel more connected in that relationship. You may not be in a relationship and you want to be in a relationship so you feel more connected. I don't know. Again, it shows up differently for each person. But the question is, okay, I feel lonely. How do I want to feel? I want to feel more connected. And then you put the specifics of how you want to feel more connected. And then you work on actually feeling more connected. What a crazy idea. Do you understand? This gets to the very heart of why people struggle to lose weight, because they don't think about the emotional impact of all this stuff. So people, well, how do I stop emotional eating? Well, you got to figure out what emotions you're eating for and then find better ways to feel those emotions. So again, Linda, all the other stuff, this is why I don't just tell you like what strategies to not eat at night. Well, I don't know why you're eating at night. Okay, it's loneliness. So what if I told you, just eat more at dinner, and then that doesn't even come close to fixing it, because loneliness is the core problem. So again, what I would suggest you do is start defining and aiming at the real solution, which is to feel more connected. And I don't know how that shows up in your life, what that looks like, but I would suggest that if you start asking that question, how do you want to feel? How could you feel that way? I think you're going to find that probably makes the biggest difference of all. I'll tell you one of the things for me nighttime wise emotionally, one was I was bored. I was bored out of my mind. Thanks, Rebecca. I was bored out of my mind. And so I'd watch TV and I'd eat all night. And I'd look forward to that. And a lot of my life, I joke about this all the time, but it was true. I get the TV guide. Back in the day with the TV guide, I get that at the beginning of the week. I'd plan my whole week. I was going to watch everything I do at night. It was what shows I was going to watch. I was going to eat. That was like a lot of my focus for my free time. So a big part of fixing it is then I started doing yoga at night. I started playing guitar. I started reading. Oh, I love that, Rebecca. Thank you. So I started doing more interesting things. And so that filled the emotional void that was in me. And so that was a huge part. In addition to just the physical strategies of I drank more water, I changed what I was eating, I ate more dinner. That was important too. But the core part of it in my mind was the emotional piece, and there was more emotions than just that, but that's just one example. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, we can all read healthy food too. Then it says, sorry, well, it's just hard to call something calorific healthy. It's automatically felt unhealthy. I do realize that now how dumb I sound. You don't sound dumb, but portion control should definitely be my priority. Yay, Athena. All right. Now you'll forget that I joke. Listen, it's kind of like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you can all use this if you want. And I apologize if I'm glitching on TikTok. I don't, I could just cut off and just start again, I suppose. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So if you ever, someone's like you meet them a couple times, or whatever, and they forget your name, or they just can't get it right. One of the best things you can do, right? And maybe you've told them the name twice and like, oh shit, I forgot your name. And the next time they're like, what's your name? Like, I already told you, it's Jim. It's like, I'm joking, but it's like, that will help them remember it. Okay. So it's like, I don't, when I bust your chops, Athena, I have no ill will toward you. I want you to understand that. I react that way just to kind of help. It makes it go in a little deeper. Okay. That's all. It's just a technique. But we're all like this. There's certain things we're kind of like, we're a little obtuse to, we're a little thick with. Okay. It's no big deal. We all have them. So I'm just looking to penetrate that a little bit with you and to help you realize, because if you keep thinking in the healthy paradigm, you're going to remain confused and flummoxed. If you bring this into a portion control thing, you're going to experience amazing results, because I can tell you're able to change things. When you see things clearly, you're changing things real quick and effectively and long-term. The problem is you're not seeing things clearly. Okay. And that's the problem for most people, certainly the people I work with. And so I'm just trying to help you see that more clearly. So yes, Athena, portion control should definitely be your priority. I absolutely. Now you can still have the healthy, unhealthy paradigm. Okay. But the core one for you I think you'll feel so much more at ease as you start thinking portion control, because that's for you. That's the whole game. Okay. Gina says, do you do hypnosis to change our thoughts on exercise, make you want to exercise? I do in a roundabout way, though. I don't have oh, I love exercising so much. I don't really do that. But I do. If you're a person who loves exercising or values it highly, if you are a person who believes kind of your best self needs exercise in it, then it kind of happens naturally. So it's kind of like, okay, what are your goals? Who do you want to be? What's the best version of you? What do you need to make that happen? And so it's different for each person. For me, up until right around now, I have not felt like I needed to exercise to be the best version of me. As I almost turned 50 here, as I look forward to, my next 100 years, exercise resistance training specifically is going to become a lot more important for me. And so I'm already in the process of valuing it at a higher level. So I hope that makes sense. So not specifically, but roundabout way. Linda says, hardest part for me now at goal weight, but have so much loose skin from losing 100 pounds. Look in the mirror and get so discouraged, then emotionally overeat. How do I overcome this? Great question, Linda. This is common. This can happen to people. It's annoying because, again, in your mind, you use this idea that losing the weight, is going to lead to this amazing goal, that end point. You get to the end point, you realize it wasn't the fantasy you would imagine in your mind. And there's now real things that you don't really like how they look. And so putting aside, surgery, which can be extremely painful, but is an option and people do it. Okay, so that's obviously there and you know about that. But putting that to the side, the next stuff that I think is the first one is to really focus on all the benefits of what you've done. So the ego gratification, the self-image improvements, the fact that you stuck with something and accomplished something huge, such a big deal. I think that's a good place to start. Focus on the health benefits, all the other benefits that you identify that have been so great. And then I think it goes to, I'm going to get kind of superficialish in a sense for a second here, but I know people say, well, I have loose skin and so it doesn't look good. But most of the time we're wearing clothes. And so you probably still look better in your clothes now than you did. And so there's that, that I can feel better in pictures. I feel better with my clothes. Maybe I got to wear certain clothes. I can't wear short sleeve shirts or shorts or whatever. I still feel self-conscious. And I'm saying this is kind of a stepping stone point. And so what I would look for now, though, is what's the next step, right? So the weight part's down, the skin thing is there. So we'll put that aside. Now you mentioned loneliness. So I'm going to build on that. But so to me now, again, I would really focus in on that piece. We only got so much mental energy. So when we learn how to spend our mental energy intentionally, one of the easiest ways to pull ourselves out of fixating on the loose skin, for example, is to take that energy and spend it somewhere else. One of the best places you could spend that energy is on that solution you're looking for, the opposite of loneliness, right? Maybe it's connection, maybe it's love, maybe it's excitement. I don't know. Again, I don't know what your goal is, but whatever that goal is, if you get obsessed with that goal as intensely as you've been obsessed with your weight, I think you'll be absolutely amazed at what happens, because you start to define what the real goal is, which is beyond physical. It's emotional. Okay. And then we can ask the question with the loose skin, how do I want to feel about the loose skin? It's a reality you're living with. The surgery is potentially an option. You're either considering it or you're not. If you're not, it becomes, okay, I'm not going to do that. How do I want to feel about this? And I'm not saying it's an easy question. I'm saying, I want to feel great about it. And then you just feel great about it. But it's a starting point to not just be in reactive mode. I want you to take a step back, acknowledge the loose skin's a thing for you, and ask the question, how do I want to feel about this? Because you got a couple options. There's skin surgery. There's putting all the weight back on so your skin tightens up again that way. There's accepting yourself for who you are now and being really, really proud of the person you've become through this journey, inside and out. And then looking as attractive as you can possibly look in the way that you feel like you're attractive, but it's placing your energy on where you want to go. So I hope that helps. And Linda, you're another one. I'll give you, Linda, shoot me an email. I'll get you. You're great. You're always here. I know you're doing great. So shoot me a message. I'll get you a week to the coaching calls too. And we can talk about that specifically, because that is one of those issues. It's so much better when you can talk to someone about that. Because that's the other thing too. It's like a lot of times you got to keep it to yourself because you're kind of like, you're proud of yourself, you're embarrassed, and like talking to people. Sometimes people want to talk to other people about it. So even being able to have a conversation with someone about it, can be nice. So shoot me an email, jim@programyourselfin.com, and I'll get you a week of that. And we can talk about that and hopefully, move you in a better direction. Athena says, are affirmations really dumb? I thought you liked them. No, I think, I'm not against affirmations. And in the program we use mantras. Okay. So again, I'm very much in the idea of mantras being phrases you say and believe. It's phrases you say to yourself and think in and believe. They kind of be shortcuts to better behaviors and feeling better. So I like those. The problem I have with with affirmations is just the whole theory about them. This idea that you're just going to say words and they're going to magically change you, because most people say affirmations and it's literally the opposite effect. It's like the more you say them, the less you believe it. And you're like just it's like affirmations for a lot of people. It's like weightlifting for that shitty voice in your head. It just makes it stronger, because the whole time you're saying the affirmations, you're like, bullshit. Now, if you don't feel that way, then it might be a different story. Like if you say words to yourself that you really truly believe and make you feel good, then I don't mean that. Okay. Then I think those affirmations are great. But I think for the vast majority of people, when they've tried affirmations, it just becomes a process of not believing it. And it just reinforces all the worst things you believe about yourself, typically, So again, that's a little bit more of a refined answer than they're just dumb. But for most people, they are kind of dumb. What's up, Satan? Satan says, I'll be honest, when you said I need something more comforting than food, and my mind was blank. I know that. That's the same for all of you. If you're an emotional eater, which you all are, I believe emotional eating is pretty much the only reason why you're struggling with your weight, because you're eating when you don't really need nourishment. You're using food emotionally, and it's leading to excess weight. So, yeah. So when I say to you all, what's as comforting or more comforting than the food, your mind's going to go blank a lot of times. So yeah, you're going to have a real hard time managing your weight. Right. So you need to have better choices. We all make the best choice available to us. So again, Satan, that's an example of that. Julie says, went from Oreos to pretzels to hummus and veggies. It's a process. Yes. I'm always appreciate when you say that, because again, dieters just want to change everything all at once. Blue Run Vintage said, I had that fat voice since I was a little girl. She whines a lot. I didn't realize she's on autopilot. Yes, Blue Run. Big. That's a great realization. It is on autopilot. That shitty voice in your head's on autopilot, folks. The conscious voice in your mind, Blue Run, is your conscious voice will mop the floor with that voice, because that voice is like a loop track. It's kind of like, right, so it'll be like, what you'll find when you start debating it is that voice is like, you can't do it. You can't do it. And when you say, can't do what? You can't do it. You can't lose weight. Why wouldn't I be able to lose weight? Because you can't do it. You can't do it. Well, what if I found a better way? I'm doing Program Yourself Thin now, and we're kind of doing small little changes that really feel good. And I'm just systematically kind of making things better. You can't do it. You can't. Oh my God. What do you, it's like one of those dolls, you pull the string and it just keeps saying the same thing. You're going to find that a lot of that those shitty voices in your head are kind of autopilot voices, just keep saying the same thing. And when you start to ask them questions and have them defend their position, they're not able to do it, because they've been able to trigger you and control you just because you keep reacting to the same phrase. And once you realize that process, it changes everything. So great job. Yep, went from fries to baked chips to veggie soup with my sandwich. Yeah, again. Chili said, yeah, my voice is in your head. Again, that's part of the program. Is I'm a hypnotist. I'm absolutely, my goal is partly to put my voice in your head, because you got no good voice in your head. Where in the fuck would you have gotten a good, thin and healthy voice in your head? Who? Name one person on the planet who you've learned to have who, like on a national level, that you could say that we would all be able to say, yeah, whose voice in your head? What, Jack LaLanne, Richard Simmons, maybe? I hope it's not Jillian Michaels. I hope it's not David Goggins. Where would you have gotten a positive voice? Where? Who's saying positive? And I'm not talking about like the influencers that are all about how you look and all the extreme shit you got to do to make it happen. I'm talking about a real, genuine, supportive and encouraging, nurturing voice that guides you to be thin and healthy. You don't know how to talk like that. You don't know the words. You don't know the tones. You don't have it in your head. You have nowhere to learn it. So Program Yourself Thin is literally a program designed to help you develop that voice. And I become the surrogate of it. And you put your own, spinnings on it. And yeah, you compare that to someone else. There we go. User 778, it's not appearing that the Rogaine is working for you. It's so funny. I mean, that shit is like, it's so unoriginal. Like, I get it's funny doing this shit, because it's always like, if I talk about weight, people get triggered. And again, you all know that are here, that like I'm saying this to help you all out, so people get triggered, and it's always to the hair. Oh yeah, if you can lose weight, why don't you grow hair? And it's like, it's just so stupid. Because weight and hair work different, right? It's such a dumb thing to say. Julie, I think about what I'll eat on my drive home from work nights. Yeah, of course we always think about we're on an autopilot, folks, where we are on autopilot and we pre-plan our lives. This is literally the very core of Program Yourself Thin, is the redo rehearsal technique. Oh, my shit still is losing connection. What is happening? So anyways, that's why we rehearse, because if you were really honest with yourself, you know what you're going to eat tomorrow. Like, if you're really honest, you've already pre-planned it. You pre-programmed it. So if I eat sugary food, I eat more food. Yeah, of course. And recognizing that those connections, I think, are really important. That's how we prevent things instead of trying to fight everything head on, which is the diet mentality. With Programming Yourself Thin, we're looking to prevent the problems. And the only way you can prevent things is to understand the connections. So, so says, yeah, people out here love to troll. I love trolls too, but I mean, at least, come on, man, get something. You're bald. You don't got any hair. You got gray hair. It's like, there's going to be something wittier than that, isn't there? Eating a bunch at night is my issue too. That's the biggest issue, I would say. People, nighttime eating, I think, is probably, I would say, that the biggest, kind of negative food habit that people have, I would say. It was mine too, That's always the blank profiles. That's true. Rebecca says, are you live on the other sites like Insta or YouTube? I am, actually, so go check it out, because, yeah, I don't know what's going on with TikTok today. Let's restart it. But I might wrap it up. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I started eating squash and mushrooms. I'm so excited to finally like some veggies. Oh, Satan, I'm so proud of you. But in my mind, it feels like they won't fill me up because there's no meat or sauce. I get that too, Satan. It's phases. I've gone through the exact same thing. I started eating the salads. I'm like, oh, this is never going to fill me up. And we have so much bullshit beliefs in our head. But I'm so proud of you because you're eating different vegetables. And so that's the very first step. And again, I know the hardest part for this for most people is having some patience, because you've been so conditioned to be so impatient. But the more you can kind of bring patience into this, you're doing it perfectly, Satan, because that's what we do. How do you go from hating vegetables to starting to like them? It doesn't happen in one day. You try different stuff. You figure out what you like. It starts changing some beliefs. You try some new ones. You start creating new distinctions and awarenesses along the way. All right. Dan says, well, Jim, you're amazing. Yeah, I definitely know you're never being mean. You're just so real about everything. Yeah, and I know you know that, Athena. Again, I do that response with you because we got a little bit of rapport going on here. So again, understand that. I always have you guys' best interest in mind, unless you're just an unoriginal troll. Then I don't have your best interest in mind. I said, oh my God, the looking in the mirror and feeling discouraged is so relatable. It brought back memories. Same thing when seeing a big number on scales. Yeah, for sure. I get that. I get those things, but they're just reactions. They're not real, meaning that they're not absolute, that we're interpreting. There's a lot of mental stuff going on. You step on a scale and then you interpret it and then you have a feeling. You see yourself in the mirror, you interpret it, and then you have a feeling. Just so you know. Cindy said, still very glitchy. Casey's like, I can hardly look in the mirror anymore. Honestly, I hate it so much. Yeah, and I get that. When you feel that way about yourself, see, like that's the thing too. Like when you feel that way, maybe I'll just restart this. Maybe something screwy. Yeah, Linda said, yeah, thank you for answering that. I'm driving and listening, and it really spoke to me. You hit the nail on the head with so many of your words, so many emotional things going on. I get that. And again, we live in America, so we never really, I'm going through that right now. I don't want to get into it right now, but it's just like, we never learn how to deal with emotions in America because I don't want to get on my conspiracy theory, but long story short is that the more emotional you are, the more you generally consume. And so we're never really conditioned or trained how to deal with emotions genuinely. And to the point that we almost can't even recognize them. And so a lot of times what we think is one problem is actually an emotional issue stemming from there. So again, Linda, this is the process. You know what I mean? But I promise you it can get you to a better place, as you keep moving it. Oh, yep. Carrie says the same thing. I'm glitching. All right, I'm going to turn this off and just come back real quick. Trying to keep it all together, but when nighttime arrives, it hits. Yeah, okay, get that. All right, I'm going to turn this off and I'll try back on TikTok for a second. I'm going to get my phone started here and see if we can get this fixed. But I'm here for everyone else here, so I just want to, I have no idea what is going on. Oh, there's the problem. It's not, oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Right, you got to be connected to Wi-Fi, don't you? Oh, man. Is technology crazy or what? All right, there we go. Let's just try this. Just go live. I'm going to put a thing in there. Stay in here for a second. All right, there we go. Julie says, thanks for reminding me about too much TV. When I play guitar or piano, I forget to eat. Yeah, exactly, Julie. Right? Thank you. Glad you said that. People are shocked. They're always shocked why they can't stick with it. You can't deal with eating at night and you're bored out of your mind. Here's the thing, right? Let's just say you're bored out of your mind or you're lonely, either one. And so you're bored or you're lonely. And so your subconscious mind says, this feels shitty. I want you to feel better. And so your brain searches its data bank, says, okay, how can we feel better? I feel bored and lonely. How can I feel better? And the feeling better is, let's eat. Now your brain knows it's not ultimately what you want, and it's not going to bring you towards your goal, but in the moment, it makes you feel better. And so your subconscious mind is like a child. It just wants to make you feel better in the moment. It doesn't care about the repercussions in the future. So this is why I say, again, we got to look at this in a much different way than you typically have with the diet, because the diet ignores all this shit. The diet just says, okay, I'm just willpower to fight against everything. But what happens is, let's just say you're eating because you're bored or you're lonely. And so now you stop eating. And so now you're thin, bored, and lonely. And your subconscious mind, this still feels like shit. So again, we got to deal with the core issue if you really want to master your weight. Yeah, this is way better, right, Mario? That I actually did figure out what was going on, and it was that I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi. My phone wasn't connected to Wi-Fi. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why it didn't connect. It always connects to Wi-Fi. I have no idea how that happened. So super weird, but right, this stuff happens. Yeah, do some thinking more. Pleasure Days working for me. Nice. Rebecca. Yeah, you found you on Insta. Okay, no lags. Yeah. And again, like I said, that was actually my fault, my phone fault. So it should be fixing now. Yeah. Athena says, do you think frugal for diet is healthy in general? No, I don't. I think I just think it's because I know you hate diets, but just health wise, I don't like it. And I was a raw foodist, you know what I mean? But it's like what I learned from that is these extreme weird diets, and just eating fruit at this point is weird, to me. And so I think that what makes a lot of sense is I think the Mediterranean diet as a diet is the best philosophical diet to follow, and you can love fruit so much, and fruit can be a huge part of your diet. I think that's smart, but just eating fruit, I just don't get it. I don't understand that. So, anyways, just fruit. I remember that. I mean, shit. When I was in the raw food thing, I knew breatharians. I never actually met one, but there was always these ideas that these guys just breathe. I don't know, a bunch of bullshit. Rebecca says, all good. How can I donate to you? Venmo, PayPal? No need to donate. Get the program. If you don't have the program, you should get the program. But other than that, keep your money, folks. But I always appreciate, all that stuff. But yeah, if you want to invest, get the program. I think that's smart. What's up, Moses? Yeah, just fruit. Oh, they eat pasta too? Oh, wait a minute. Frugivore is different than fruitarian. My bad. I'm a little tired. Let's see. What's frugivore? I was popping fruit on there. Fruitarian. Yeah, mostly on raw foods and succulent fruit like produce and plants such as... Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I really, definitely, I would say, I don't know. I like balance more. I definitely value the balance of a balanced diet a lot more these days. That's what I would say. Just fruit is just as extreme as just meat, and it's all extreme shit. It's cutting calories. Yeah, exactly, KT. Yeah. I think Mediterranean, that's what I recommend, because I think Mediterranean is, to me, the gold standard. Because it's a balanced diet. It's just normal. And I think that's what makes sense. The most sense. Yeah. Yeah, being able to eat everything. Yeah. Because again, it's kind of like the idea too, like, again, getting ourselves out of the diet mindset. Yeah, you can do anything for a little while. You can just eat fruit for a little while, just eat meat, just eat raw food, just whatever. But again, it's not real life. It's like I always tell people the worst thing you can do is go away to one of those weight loss, like I don't want to say camps, but retreats, right? Weight loss retreat. So you go someplace for a couple of weeks and just like everyone's cooking everything for you, you lose a bunch of weight. What's the point? None of that shit's going to transfer over to your normal environment. So again, for me, everything is built for the long term. I'm never doing things for the short term, because what's the point? I don't want short-term results. I want long-term results. I'm obsessed with that. And so I'll only do things that are going to be long-term based. And I think knowing that is just, again, it's a paradigm shift. When I went down to the beach a couple weeks ago, my Easy Pass transponder stopped working unbeknownst to me. So I was about halfway down, and I noticed the thing said, "Uh-oh, toll didn't go through." Right. So I call them up and I'm like, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're in the system. They'll take your license plate." But it's like, so here I am 3 weeks later, and I'm up to about $350 worth, $350 worth of toll fees and everything else. So I deal with that. Yeah. Moses says, "Do you ever eat processed foods like a Kit Kat?" Yeah, of course. I eat less and less of it, I will be honest, but I'll eat it occasionally. I lose my taste for it a lot, and the more I learn about it, the less appealing it is to me. So it's a combination of factors moving me towards eating it less and less. But during my, over the last 30 years, I've eaten plenty of processed food. I have not. I will say I really did move a long time ago. I really did move away from fast food. Becoming a vegetarian 25 years ago makes that happen because they had no real alternatives. So fast food, I definitely pretty much has been almost completely gone. But of course, processed food, has been there, but it gets less and less and less and less. So, but yeah, I absolutely eat that sometimes. But like I said, it just gets less and less naturally, not through no intention of my own. It's just kind of intrinsic. KT says, "No dairy, no red meat, no poultry really on Mediterranean though, right? Been years since I did it." I mean, again, I'm not a big no. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so I guess I'm no land animals. I don't even know why half the time, but it's just kind of the way I am. But when I see a diet be it with the no, I don't know, because like no dairy, there's no poultry in Mediterranean. I never really thought of it that way. I always thought of it like less of those things, but I'm not a Mediterranean diet expert. I just have a vague sense of it. You know what I mean? But when I hear no diet, no dairy, no red meat, no poultry, I just feel like, okay, there we go. Like it's going to feel depriving to them most likely. Bonetti says, "If I eat an apple, I am starving soon after." If I eat an apple, I am starving soon after. I mean, that happens to people, but I mean, if all you're doing is eating one apple and the rest of it's processed food, I wouldn't be surprised. I've eaten apples and then been hungry too. It's like, and I get that too, because it was very confusing to me. So, I mean, an apple, why am I hungry right away? But it's so much of it's your mindset, so much of it's what you typically eat. So it's like if you eat like shit and all of a sudden you eat an apple, it's probably not gonna notice much. I'm still hungry, this doesn't work. It's like you have to like transform your eating, and so I usually eat an apple every morning. Like that was a good example. Like my breakfast in the beginning, that breakfast didn't really satisfy me, but as I got used to it and I realized, oh, it is satisfying. Now it's satisfying. Does that make sense to anyone? Probably not. Doesn't make sense to me. But there's a holistic, comprehensive thing going on here where there is a mindset factor, a lifestyle factor, an eating factor, and over time things change in ways that you make no sense and you can never imagine. So, yeah. But there's a good example. If I eat an apple, I'm starving soon after. It's funny to me because maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But what happens if you eat a Snickers bar? Oh, then I'm satisfied all day. You know what I mean? Like, so I find people have like an enhanced sensitivity when it comes to fruits and vegetables. I find this very odd, but people are way more sensitive to the carbs in vegetables than the carbs in processed foods. Typically, they're more sensitive to the sugar in fruit than the sugar in pretty much all processed foods. They're more sensitive to, how hungry or not hungry they are after eating some healthy food than they are, the bullshit. So again, awareness is a funny thing, and we can live, I don't know, black and white, and we can see things completely opposite too. So I don't know. It's interesting that way. Moses said, "Is bacon with eggs bad for breakfast? Seems balanced." I mean, I wouldn't be eating bacon in the morning. On my clean days, if I loved bacon and I wanted to eat bacon, I would absolutely eat it on the weekends, but I wouldn't eat bacon every day. The saturated fat, the processed meat thing of it all, it's just, I don't know, but that's me, you know what I mean? So it's like, could you eat bacon every day and still lose weight? Absolutely. So again, I would look to balance my meal out differently than with bacon, but that's me. Julie says, do you shop at the farmer's market? Yeah, I shop at farmers markets, co-ops. I'm part of a farm share, so that's pretty cool. But most of the time, I mean, to be completely honest, most of my shopping is done at just regular stores. My whole salad thing revolves around the giant box of greens I get at the BJ's. So I'm on a journey myself of really optimizing my nutrition. This summer's been the biggest steps I've ever taken with that. So I definitely am in the process of optimizing my eating to a whole nother level. But to be honest, though, up until this summer, it's really primarily been big box store, regular supermarket where I've got most of my stuff. What I'm learning is there's a way higher quality, and that's exciting to find too. Julie says, stocked up fridge at my office with watermelon chunks and Greek yogurt and hummus. When is normally eat cookies? I have all these great snacks. I'm prepared. Julie, you're a superstar. I'm so impressed by you. Yeah, I used to eat cookies and chocolate every afternoon. Now it's once in a while. And Julie, I got to say, you are you're utilizing the program perfectly. I'm just so proud of you. I really am, because those are real strategies, and I can hear the mindset behind it, because it's not just you saying something. I can hear the way you're saying it. So it just really sounds like you're internalizing this so well. Kim says, I'm going on 35 years plus without fast food and soda. Oh, congratulations. Wonderful. Yeah. That should just be normalized, especially soda. Soda is just straight up like, I was thinking that, that they've just done this to us for 150 years. They've just conditioned us to think the worst shit is great. I was watching like some show and they're drinking. It was like back in the 50s, but they're drinking all the time, right? At cocktail hour, there were cocktails at lunch. And it's like, again, I drink, so I'm not like anti-alcohol, but it ain't that great for you. And so, cigarettes were always part of it. They're not that great for you, but they just normalize it by constantly showing people do it. And soda's fucking horrible for you, but it's normalized, so you don't realize just how bad it is. And the reason you drink soda primarily isn't because you're addicted to sugar. It's because it's been normalized in your mind. You don't think it's that bad. And it is. It's just as bad as cigarettes and alcohol and drinking all day, and smoking all day. Drinking soda is nothing good for you, It's just like alcohol. There's not one good thing that soda is doing for you. And obviously fast food, we'll leave that alone. But shit, soda is literally the least healthy thing you can do. Literally. So, good job, Kim. Proud of you. KT, pescatarian is if you eat fish, etc., but no land animal products or byproducts, I think. Yes, that one I do know because that's what I am. I'm a pescatarian. But to be honest, I'm mostly vegetarian. I eat clams once a week typically, and maybe once a week, but it's more like every other week. I'll have some fish. Usually it's sockeye salmon that's wild caught. Occasionally, once a month, I might have tuna sandwich or something. So even with the fish, I kind of take it easy. So, but that's me. Who gives a shit what I do? Julie says, love this program. I've been reprogrammed. Yeah, it sounds like it, Julie. You really sound like you have. I'm so proud of you because I know you've really done the program, and I'm so excited for you to get back to your goal weight again, but doing it this way. I'm so happy for you. You're a real action taker and an intelligent, smart person. So I'm just very impressed by that. Yeah, Kim says, feeling so much better. Yeah. And Mario, I know that feels like it's crazy. I literally have not drank soda once in 20 years. And I used to drink a good amount of soda. I wasn't the biggest soda drinker, but I drank soda every day, and then fast food. I hadn't eaten at a fast food place until like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, with like Burger King had a Whopper. I didn't eat fast food in 20 years. And I used to eat the shit out of fast food. So I know it sounds crazy, right? Because again, it's not normalized. It sounds like it's literally all in your minds. It's literally impossible. If you drink soda, it's impossible not to drink soda. It's weird not to drink soda. It's weird not to drink fast food or eat fast food. It's weird. It doesn't exist in your mind as a legitimate option. I mean, technically, it's possible, but it feels impossible. And that's the mindset piece of why, if you're overweight, that's a huge part of why you're overweight is the mindset piece. And yeah, how you plan on changing it though? That's a big question. Yeah. Nope. Even stopped eating Chick-fil-A. Nice. I said, so true, Jim. I can eat like 3 Snickers and feel just as full from 1 apple. Yeah, of course. The sensitivity, even listen, folks, even your hunger, most of you don't know real hunger from fake, psychological hunger, just to be honest. So when someone gets on here and goes, I ate an apple and I'm starving afterwards, like just, I don't even believe you. I don't think you even have any clue. I don't think you know what real hunger is. I don't think you know if you're full or satisfied or not. I don't even believe that person. Just if I'm being completely honest, when somebody, oh, I ate an apple and I was starving afterwards. You have no idea about your hunger. That's what I think, And I say this as someone who had no idea about their hunger. The reason I say it, I literally went through this. No idea. Because you don't know how much of your hunger is actual physiological, I need to eat something, I need nourishment, and how much of it is, I'm nervous, I'm hungry, I'm bored, I'm hungry. It's at 3:00, I'm hungry. I just, apples never fill me up. I ate an apple, I'm starving. That you don't know. You have no idea. That's what I think. And I would love to go in depth with it with the person because I love the people arguing. Oh, no, I bet you don't. I bet you don't. Which again brings back the point that I can't say this enough. But if you're overweight, please never say the phrase, "Oh, I know what to do. I just got to get myself to do it," because you fucking don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You don't know. You're missing so much information that it's literally almost impossible if you ever get the results you want. And I don't say it to be mean. I say it to enlighten you a little bit. Cindy says, any kind of sweet sugar is a huge trigger for me. Thoughts on Zevia soda? This is my first week on the program. Okay, Cindy. Yeah. And please let me know that when you guys are on the program, let me know you're in the program because then I refer you back to the program. Okay. And I spend a little extra time with you. So, listen, okay. So any kind of sweet sugar, and now you're talking about soda. So that's probably where I would start. I would probably I'd wean myself off of sugar is what I would do. Not wean myself off of it completely. I would wean it down so that I could have it on my pleasure days and enjoy it and then be able to get back on track. And that takes some practice. But probably the first thing I would focus on is the sodas. The sodas are literally the least healthy thing you can put in your body. There's no benefit to drinking sodas, and there's lots of problems and challenges they create. Okay. So a stevia, I'm assuming is what you meant. Stevia soda, or maybe Zevia is a new artificial one I haven't heard of yet, but going from a full-on regular soda to a alternative one with an alternative thing, I think for some people that can be a mid-step to getting it down. So I think that's okay. I would much rather, as quick as you can, get to like flavored sparkling waters, but I think that's a good focus for you, Cindy, is focus on the soda, not all sugar. Okay. So you can eat, if you eat candy bars, keep eating the candy bars, keep eating the cookies, keep eating the ice cream, but focus on the soda first. Get rid of that. Okay. And do it whatever way you want. If you want to use a stevia thing first, okay. I don't love artificial sweeteners. Okay. Because you're still kind of eating something sweet. There's a lot of things that are similar. So that's why I'd rather go to the flavored soda water. Keep the rest of the sugar for now. Once you get ready with that, then we can work on the other sugar. So I know that's a vague kind of answer, but I hope that helps you out. And if you have more questions, always ask me, okay? Because I know you're in the program, so I can guide you through it. All right. D says, new to the live, wondering where do you start or how? The first thing I'd suggest starting with in general is make sure you go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session I give you, and watch the video I made for you. That's probably the thing that I would suggest for you all. Because I give you a lot more information. I kind of take through the whole system. The video is like 20 minutes long, but it'll let you know what's up. And so I think that's the first thing. And then the next thing, just to specific, is figure out what your worst eating habit is, the one most responsible for the extra weight, and then go to work on resolving that. Just focusing on that. Don't try and change everything. Most dieters want to change everything. So you can't do that. Okay. So there's a couple quick suggestions. Moses says, oh my God, so true. It feels wrong to not drink soda. Yeah. The only thing I've done is change from regular to zero. I'm trying to drink less of it, but that makes me crave it more. Yeah, no, I get that, Moses. Again, I do what I can to help you guys out here, but it's, I don't know. I can't get into it today, but yeah, but good. You made some change, but a lot of it's psychological. I'm glad you realized that, right? It feels weird, right? Who doesn't do that? KT says, giving up booze has been really eye-opening. Talk about feeling weird and rejected. Yeah. It's the only drug we're weird if we don't do it. It's crazy. Agreed. And I went through a lot of that. I had a big issue with alcohol at one point. So I get it. And there's absolute parallels between the alcohol and the food for sure. D says, I have absolutely no idea and I'm not afraid to admit it. Well, congratulations. That's the first step to getting an idea. So I'm proud of you for saying that. And so again, please go to my bio, get the free hypnosis session, watch the free video and read the free emails. It'll start to give you an idea. That's what I can tell you. Santina says, where do you find the program? Thanks. I mean, you can go directly to programyourselfthin.com, and you can go check it out. But I'd suggest, the easiest thing is go to my bio, click that link, get the hypnosis session, get that video, get on my email list, and I email you every day. And then there's links on the bottom if you want to go check the program out, that you can check that out. But again, let me give you some value first. Let me kind of show you some stuff first. See if the right program for you, because it's not for everyone. I will let you know that. Cindy says, yeah, I'm sober 8 months. I totally understand. Yeah, congratulations. Is honey and tea bad for you? I wouldn't say it's bad for you, and again, I don't really think so much of things as being good or bad. I think of things on a spectrum. So I think honey's better than sugar. I think, less honey is better than a lot of honey. And so we'll keep it there. But I kind of see conflicting things on honey. I don't think honey's that bad. Again, it's a relative how much honey is the next question. Deviate is a sparkling water. Okay, haven't heard of that one, but what's up, Marcy? How's it going? Bonetti says, I started the program Sunday. Portion size is the key for me. I've noticed clothes are fitting better. Nice job. And I'm saying Bonetti because I can't see what the first letters are. Hey, great job. Yeah. So, you start the program. Portion size is the key. Yeah, great. So for you, right, that becomes the big habit. And what I would suggest with the portion sizes is I would even do that with the portion sizes is pick probably dinner. Okay. So it doesn't, in general, you can focus on changing all the portion sizes, but specifically really laser in on the dinner one, probably if that's your biggest meal of the day, because again, we can't change everything all at once. So we want to get fixed on the thing that gives the biggest bang for our buck. And so dinner portion sizes may be that for you. All right. And so, great job. And so, get going with the program and then get on these lives too. If you're not in the coaching part of the program, get on these lives and utilize that. But good job taking action, getting the program and focusing on the portion sizes now. Truth will set you free. It's self-discipline. Nah, not really. It's not really self-discipline. I mean, technically there is a part that's self-discipline, but I gotta be honest. I hate when people write that because it's so reductionist. It makes it seem so simple. And the question is, okay, what if someone doesn't have self-discipline? What do they do? Oh, just be self-disciplined. Well, what if I don't feel like I have any? Well, you got to be self-disciplined. But what if I don't feel like I have any discipline? Well, you do. You just got to do it. And I that's why I hate one word answers like that. Come on, just do it. You just need willpower. You just got to focus. You just got to want it. You just got to be motivated. There's no just anything. You need a holistic, comprehensive approach to really master your weight. And yes, self-discipline is absolutely a part of it. But if you feel like you have no self-discipline, how are you going to practice developing it? And that's where you have no plan, no idea how to do that. And so again, in Program Yourself, then we go through how to do that. But I just want to make you clear, when someone says something like that, like it's self-discipline, that's a small part of what it is, but it's a lot more than that. And things like that tend to make people feel worse about themselves than to be, some beacon of how to make it actually happen. So I just want to say that. Tina said, when listening to daily hypnosis, I feel like I'm so aware of myself, the room, even though it's quiet. Tips for quieting my mind. Okay, great. So Tina, the big thing with that is that recognize that when you're using the hypnosis sessions, you're practicing it. This is most likely for you the first time you really engage with like a meditation type of hypnosis type of thing where you're quieting your mind down a bit. And for a lot of people, that's a new thing. And what you're recognizing now is how, well, my God, my mind, blah, 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 it's really going, and so understand that the process of going into trance, the process of meditating, the process of quieting your mind, relaxing, all of these things are, you practice, they're skills. And so the first week of listening to the hypnosis sessions compared to the 7th week, if you continually do it, you're going to find it's a huge difference. You're going to be able to quiet your mind down more, follow along, relax more, do all those things. So just stick with it for right now. That's my tip. Don't worry about your mind racing. It's supposed to. It has been. It's been doing that. You're just more aware of it now. Okay. And so just relax about it. It's completely natural, normal, and understand that you'll get better with it as you keep going. And the hypnosis still works. You do not have to be in some deep trance. You don't have to have a completely silent mind. You can be caught up in your thoughts. You can be distracted, and the hypnosis will still work. Those ideas are still going in. And some people believe they go in even better when you're distracted. But regardless, they still go in and it's still effective. So know that. All right. Moses says, would you say drinking juice is okay for health? I love it, but usually not fresh. I mean, I don't drink any juice. I have no desire to drink juice. I would not recommend it. Is it better than soda? Yeah, I think a little bit, but yeah, I don't think drinking juice is a great thing. Everything's relative though. So there's definitely worse things than juice, but I would not put juice up as being a really healthy thing. It's a sugar bomb. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the fiber to slow things down. It's not the natural food matrix. So I'd much prefer you eat an apple than drink apple juice. Eat an orange rather than drink orange juice. So KT says, listen to the free hypnosis every night, waiting to hear what new stuff you said coming next month before I join. Yeah, great, KT. I mean, the new thing coming, I'll just let you know, the new thing coming next month is a reduced version of the program, it's just the hypnosis program. So it's 8 weeks of hypnosis. Every day you get a 5-minute hypnosis session. At night, every week, there's a weekly hypnosis session you can listen to at night if you choose to, bookend your day, and you'll get those things, and that'll be $97. So it doesn't have the mastery blueprints, and it doesn't have the program yourself then method with it. But it'll be something that's there. So that'll be coming out in September, and that'll be $97. The program right now is $297. So again, it just depends on what level you want to make commitment to, and I get that. So, but that's what's coming out. Jim said, I tried these chickpea nuggets today and wow, they're so good. I don't even miss meat anymore. Yeah, great. That's a nice, it's a good transition, but again, understand this, watch out. And again, I'm not doing this to bum you out, but processed meat, chicken nuggets, processed, chickpea nuggets. I think one's better because I'm a vegetarian, and typically chickpea type stuff is typically a little bit healthier. Typically it's a little bit more health conscious people, but it's starting to not be that way, that there's a lot of unhealthy options out there that are just vegetarian though. So just be careful of that too, right? Look at the ingredients, just make sure. All right. Switch from OJ to grapefruits in the AM. Smart move. Yeah. Anytime you switch from juice to the whole fruit, that's a positive improvement for sure. All right. All right, everyone, we get out of here. I got to get going today. Sorry about the delay on TikTok. I screwed that all up, and that was my fault. So, anyways, what can you do? But all right, yeah, if you're not in my world, get on my list. Go to the bio, click the link at the hypnosis session, watch the video. It's all free. You'll get in there. And then if you don't follow me. I'm on here every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon. The program is Program Yourself In if you're interested. The podcast is Program Yourself In. That's free. Go check it out. It's on all podcast platforms. And it's there for you. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a super weekend, a long weekend this weekend. So enjoy yourself, get some relaxation and recover. And think about the next 4 months. Again, refocus yourself. What are you going to do? If you're real serious, join the program. Let me help you out with it. But regardless, get focused. Go into 2025 with some results and some momentum. All right. Don't wait till the end of 2024 to then start. Okay. Don't do that. Stop that shit. Change your patterns. Change them now. All right. So thanks so much, guys. Have a super weekend, and we'll talk next week. Bye.